This is not an ad for this dumbbell, but often we might think as handball players or someone trying to work out, we need a lot of things. We need to go to the gym, or we need to get a lot of equipment, we need to have a lot of room. And I'm here to tell you that you are incorrect, my friend. And there's so much you can do, first with your body weight, but then with one dumbbell. Okay, so we're going to put this thing to work. And everyone knows that I love the psychological aspect of performance. And I'm always saying there's so many things in sport that are outside your control. You don't know what's going to happen on the day. But including strength training is something that is inside your control. It is something you can do that's going to help you not only physically, but mentally. So if you're not doing it, then you're missing out on a huge part of your performance. So for today's workout today, we're going to keep it simple. 6 movements. We'll do 3 supersets, which we can explain more, but basically means you'll do 2 exercises back to back. We're focusing on, and if you think about handball, we need to have lower body, upper body, single leg work, single arm work, some shoulder work to keep the shoulders healthy, and some rotational work. And we're going to do that all within 20 to 30 minutes. So it's not going to take that long. If you know me, you know you always start with a warm-up. All right, we're only going to do 3 movements. We don't have to spend forever on this. So we're going to start with some air squats. Just sitting down into it, driving back up. I'll give you a side angle, okay? Keeping the chest nice and proud. Just going as low as you can, and you can do 10 of those. Then if you have a cat, you can make them weighted. Right, next we're getting down on the ground. We're going to do 10 glute bridges. This is focusing on the back of the legs. So just think about driving your hips all the way up to the ceiling. You can stay down on the ground. You're going to roll over. We're going to come into a plank position, and we're going to do 10 shoulder taps. This is focusing on the shoulder stability. Also working the core. We'll do 2 rounds of that, and then you're done your warm-up. All right, next we're going to go into our first working set. We're starting with split squats. We're focusing on the single leg movement. And a lot of the time in handball, we're actually in this position. So really good to be strong in this. So we can hold that weight up in a goblet position. We'll drop that back knee towards the ground and drive it back up from there. If the weight feels too light for you, because you're really strong, you're going to go super slow on the way down and then drive it back up really fast. Weight feels too heavy, we can just do this without the weight. And then you're going to swap sides. So after we've done our 8 reps on each side, like I said, we're going to superset. So we're going to go straight into a strict press. So you'll get that weight up on your shoulder, keeping everything nice and tight, but we're just driving through the shoulder to get the weight overhead, nice and controlled on the way back down. This is heavy. And after we do 3 sets of each, so after this I'm going back to the split squats. After I've done 3 sets of each, I'm then going to take about 60 to 90 seconds to rest before going on to my next superset. Alright, so with the split squats, we've been targeting the quads, the glutes. With the strict press, targeting the shoulders primarily. Now we're going to go on to the back of the legs and focusing on balance. So we're going to do a single leg RDL. So with this, we're loading up one leg, holding the weight in the opposite hand, and then we're hinging, trying to keep the back nice and straight so we're not rounding at the back, and then driving back up from there. If we find that we're struggling with balance, we can actually drop that back foot, but that stagger still means we're focusing on the front leg. And the exact same principle applies, just a lot easier in terms of balance there. Alright, next we're going to focus on our lats or our back. We want to be nice and strong when we're playing. We're going to do a chainsaw row, which basically just means we're leaning on that front leg in this staggered position. That'll allow us to be nice and balanced. Full stretch on your arm before you start, and then you're going to think about bringing your elbow nice and close by your side, and then back down again. So you'll notice I'm not rotating my upper body here. I'm just focusing on a nice strong pull, and then nice and controlled on the way down. Then we're going to go into our last superset. We're nearly there. Time flies and you're having fun, guys. All right, we're going to start with a plank dumbbell pull through. So you want to have the dumbbell on the side. You're going to get into a nice plank position. Feet are wide just so you'll stay nice and balanced. And then you're going to pull that dumbbell nice and controlled to the other side. And then it's going to roll back. So you actually have to go super slow to not damage the floors. And this right here is working our core, but also really focusing on that shoulder stability to hold ourselves in this position. All right, I'm working hard, but our last movement is an overhead march or weight overhead march. So you're going to get that weight overhead. Notice bicep is right beside my ear, so super strong. And then you're just going to lift your knee up to hip height and back down. We'll hold it for a second in this position. And here we're working core, leg stability, and shoulders. So a lot going on here. And now you can sit back, relax, knowing that you are superior because you're working out. And I think the main thing with this is you don't need more time. You don't need loads of equipment. You don't even need to go to the gym. There's so much you can do in your living room. Instead of watching Netflix, get up and do a bit of a workout. So give this workout a go. Let us know how you get on in the comments. Let me know how much better you get at handball from doing this workout. And make sure you like and subscribe so that we can bring more.